Hello, this is State Representative Skyler Rude. I just want to give you a quick update on a bill that I'm working on this year, House Bill 1141, which updates Washington's Death with Dignity law. By way of history, the law was enacted by initiative in 2008 and has not actually been updated at all since that time. This issue was brought to me by a constituent who wanted to take advantage of those rights under the law and unfortunately was not able to. The law allows a person who is within 6 months of death and terminally ill, certified by two physicians, to take advantage of a lethal dose of medication to end their life. Unfortunately, the law is not working well for many people who are trying to use it. So my bill attempts to address some of the barriers that exist in current law. One of the most significant barriers that we've identified is the 15-day waiting period. If a person is certified to be terminally ill by two physicians, they're required to submit a verbal and written request and then wait 15 days and submit another request. It turns out that some people at the end of their life don't have 15 days left to live. And studies have shown that approximately 1/3 of individuals die before they're able to take advantage of the law. So my bill waives the 15-day waiting period and makes it 72 hours by default. And then if the individual is not expected to live 72 hours, then the 72 hours is waived. For those of you who live in Eastern Washington like I do, you also know that providers sometimes are not available. And identifying two physicians that are required to sign off on the use of the law for the patient can be very difficult. So what the bill does is allows a physician assistant or a nurse practitioner to be one of the two providers. So we still have one physician is required to participate. And then for folks who have the primary care provider as a nurse practitioner or physician assistant, that person is also able to continue caring for that person through that process. Another important change that addresses limitations on availability of prescriptions and the lack of access to compounding pharmacies in Eastern Washington allows mailing of these prescriptions. And I know that that might be concerning for some folks, but lethal prescriptions can already be mailed through the Postal Service. So the initiative had a specific provision that prohibited mailing of these prescriptions. So we remove that, but also create additional safeguards by requiring that only the addressee or an authorized person can sign for the prescription, so it can't fall into the hands of someone who's not authorized to use it. And then lastly, it prohibits hospitals from binding their physicians from participating when they're off the clock and off premises. So these are pretty minor updates. And all the important safeguards that were built into the law are still maintained. The individual has to be terminally ill. There are competency requirements that have remained unchanged in my bill. So someone who is suffering from depression is ineligible to use the law. Other mental health conditions that compromise competency are also disqualifiers to use the law. So the intent is to provide additional access for those who already qualify for the law, and this bill does that. So I know that this can be controversial, and if you have any questions or concerns about it, I'm happy to clarify and answer those. I can be reached at skyler.rude@ledge.wa.gov or my website, which is representativeskylerrude.com. Thank you.